Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam overview class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नितिनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. We are discussing from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and last time we discussed the beautiful story of Pradyumna, how Pradyumna, after he was born, he was kidnapped by Shambharasur, and as he was taking the child over a river, he threw that child into the river, and then a fish swallowed the child, and the fishermen, they caught that fish and presented to Shambharasur himself. Shambharasur gave that fish to the cook. When they cut open the fish, the cook found a baby inside, a small boy. He was alive. He was given to the lady who was also there in the kitchen, and her name was Mayavati. She was Rati herself. And immediately, within a short span of time, this child grew into a youth, full-grown human being, full-grown personality. And then Rati revealed everything. Ultimately, Pradyumna, he killed Shambharasur, and then Pradyumna and Mayavati came back to Dwarka. And all the ladies and all the residents of Dwarka, they were so very happy because the lost child came back. So that's what we discussed. So now in the 56th chapter, which is entitled The Story, the Shamantaka Jewel. So after describing the first marriage of Krishna with Rukmini and then the child, now Shukdev Goswami starts the description of the second and third wife of Krishna. So Shukdev Goswami says, Satrajita swatanayam Krishnaya krita kilbishah Shamantakena manina swayam udyamya dattavan. So Shukdev Goswami said that Satrajit Swatanayam, he gave his daughter to Krishna because he had offended Lord Krishna. So what had happened was, he just summarized in one verse. He said, Shamantakena manina swayam udyamya dattavan. So he tried to atone the offense which he had committed to Lord Krishna by presenting Krishna, Shamantak Mani, along with his daughter. So as usual, a devotee is always inquisitive to hear more about Krishna. And Shukdev Goswami always does these things. He first summarizes the entire pastime in a small verse, in a one verse. And then Parikshit Maharaj, he gets inquisitiveness. That shows how a devotee should be very, very inquisitive and eager to hear about Krishna. After all, eagerness is the price we have to pay to become Krishna conscious. Tatra laulyam api mulyam ekalam. That is the price we have to pay. And Parikshit Maharaj, throughout Bhagavatam, he is showing how a devotee should be eager. Even at the last moment of his life, Parikshit Maharaj was eager to hear about Krishna. So Parikshit Maharaj, as usual, he is asking question. Satrajitah kim akaro brahman Krishna ekilbishah Krishnasya kilbishah shamantakah kutastasya kasma datta sutahare. So what did Satrajit do? Why he offended Lord Krishna, who is kilbishah? Who is Satrajit? Why he offended Krishna, kilbishah? Shamantak kutastasya, and from where did he get Shamantak as well? And why did he give his daughter to Supreme Lord? So all these questions he is asking. We have seen from the second canto, Parikshit Maharaj is so very inquisitive. He keeps asking so many questions. And he is expressing, Shukdev Goswami, I want to hear more. Please tell me, I am not satisfied. Vayam tumana vitrapyama uttama shloka vikrame yasrinvatam rasagyanam swadu swadu pade pade. The sages of Naimisharanya, in the beginning they are telling, we are not satiated, please continue. So that is the mood of all the hearers of Bhagavatam. They are never satiated. How much we can hear about Krishna, how much we may hear, but still, the beauty of Krishna Katha is nobody can be satisfied and pacified hearing Krishna Katha. So Parikshit Maharaj, although he must have heard these stories many times, he is born in Yadu family, he is born in Kuru Vamsha, a relative of Krishna. He must have heard all these things many times, but still he is expressing such eagerness. So now, after hearing such question from Parikshit Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami, he starts answering. He says, Sun God Surya Dev, he felt great affection for Satrajit. Satrajit, he did wonderful tapasya and he pleased Surya Dev. And pleased by his devotee, Satrajit was given this jewel, Shamantaka jewel, by Surya Dev himself as a token of satisfaction. So although Satrajit was a devotee of Surya, but Sun God was very, very affectionate to him like friend. So he was not behaving with Satrajit as a devotee. He was more affectionate and he was behaving as a friend. So as a gesture of friendship and affection, he gave this Shamantaka jewel to Satrajit. So Satrajit, when he got this jewel, he became so very happy and jubilant, and also became proud. That's what happens. That's why Kutti Maharani tells again and again in the first chapter, in the first canto, Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shribhir Edamana Madapuman Naivarhatya Vidhatum Vai Twam Akinchana Gochara. O Krishna, if somebody has high birth, high education, beauty, wealth, it is very, very easy to get deviated and distracted by these things. They intoxicate. So Shamantaka, because it was a very, very wonderful jewel. We'll hear about the glories of Shamantaka jewel. So that's why Satrajit, when he got, it was so effulgent, this jewel. He wore that jewel in his neck and he entered Dwarka. He was a resident of Dwarka, but he was not a devotee of Krishna. He was devotee of Sun God. So that is how it is so very interesting. Even if somebody is staying with Krishna in Dwarka, still he may not be having devotional attitude towards Krishna. Proximity does not matter. The attitude of devotion is the crux. One time Srila Prabhupada was telling that, so devotees asked, Srila Prabhupada, which service is most dear to you, and what makes a person what service we should do so that we can get your close association? There was a mosquito hovering around, and then he sat on Prabhupada's hand. Prabhupada said, this mosquito is the closest to me, but he is doing disservice. So physical proximity does not matter. Then Prabhupada said, you can please me by loving Krishna. At some other occasion, Prabhupada said, you can please me by cooperating with each other. So physical proximity does not matter. If somebody has a devotional disposition, then he can please Krishna even if he is far, far away from Krishna. Many of the disciples of Prabhupada, they never saw saw Srila Prabhupada personally. They never met Prabhupada personally. Niranjan Swami Maharaj, he was asked once that, how many times you met Srila Prabhupada? He said, he just, raised his hand. He said, 0. He never met Srila Prabhupada. He got his initiation through a letter. But still, he is doing such a wonderful service to Srila Prabhupada. So physical proximity does not matter. If somebody has a right attitude, he can be much closer to Krishna, much closer to Guru Parampara. So this Satrajit, although he was staying in Dwarka, he was not a devotee of Krishna. And we'll see in this pastime how he developed such envy towards Krishna and inimical feelings towards Krishna. So Satrajit, he entered Dwarka wearing this jewel, and he was looking as brilliant as sun. He was effulgent, and nobody could recognize that he is the same Satrajit. All the citizens, they were bewildered. They were thinking, who is he? Who is he? Maybe he's sun god. Because he was looking so very effulgent and they thought that, many devatas, they keep coming to meet Krishna. Because Krishna is Akhil Koti Brahmanda Nayak, his Supreme Lord. Maybe sun god has come today. So residents of Dwarka, they thought, okay, Surya Dev has come. So they came running and they informed Krishna, Narayana Namastesto Shankachakra Gadadhara Damodaradhara Vindaksha Govinda Yadunandana. So they offer their obeisances. They say, oh Govinda, oh Narayan, you are Supreme Narayan himself, who has Shankachakra Gada Padma in his hand. We offer our obeisances unto you. This is an etiquette we have to always follow. Whenever we go in front of the Lord, we have to first glorify the Lord. Before putting our appeal in front of the Lord, we have to glorify the Lord. So these residents, they say, oh my Lord, it seems Surya Dev has come to see you. And he is blinding everyone's eyes by his effulgence. They say, most exalted demigods, devatas, they are eager to see you always. And now you have hidden yourself in this Yadu dynasty. That's why I think they are coming to see you. That's the glory of Yadu Vamsha, in which Krishna appeared. So Shukadeva Goswami, he continues that when Krishna, he heard these innocent words of the citizens, he smiled because he knew he's the Supreme Lord. He knew. He said, this is not sun god. He is Satrajit who is wearing the Shyamantaka, and that's why he is glowing. So then after, roaming around in Dwarka, showing his money, and then he entered his home. And he placed that jewel in the altar, in the temple room. And this jewel, it was so very powerful. It would produce 8 bhar of gold every day. What is 8 bhar of gold? It is equal to 170 pounds. It produces 170 pounds of gold every day. And wherever this jewel is, there is no inauspiciousness in that place. So Satrajit started worshipping this jewel, and it became so very opulent because of this jewel. It was amazing. Everybody understood that, oh, this is the mercy of Surya Dev. And One day, Krishna, he requested Satyajit that, oh Satyajit, please give this jewel to Ugrasena, because all the best things should be given to the supreme owner, that is the king. But Satyajit refused. He didn't give that jewel to Ugrasena, and he did not even think about the seriousness of the offense. Supreme Lord himself is requesting, and he did not even think about it. So therefore, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that by not offering that jewel to the Supreme Lord, and instead he was enjoying that object himself, that object which was the cause of auspiciousness all over, it became the cause of inauspiciousness and misfortune for Satyajit. That is the situation of modern civilization. Whatever we have, it should be used in service of the Supreme Lord, then the entire world will be flourishing. Katha taror mool nishechanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujopashakha. If we are pleasing Supreme Lord, it is like watering the root of the tree. If the root is nourished properly, then automatically the entire tree will be flourishing. But the modern civilization, as Prabhupada would say, is going to hell because nobody is acknowledging the supremacy of Krishna. So therefore, that same thing which was creating auspiciousness and fortune, it created misfortune for Satyajit. That's why people are suffering, because that's what Prabhupada would say, only thing which is missing in this world is Krishna consciousness. And that's what people need. People want Ram Rajya without Ram. How is this possible? That's why Krishna is so very eager to put the devotee as the king. That's why Yudhishthir Maharaj, when he became the king, Krishna was very, very happy. And we heard the beautiful description of the kingdom of Yudhishthir Maharaj in the first canto. Kim te kama surasparha mukunda manaso dvija adi jahru mudam ragya shudhi tasya the tare kamam vavarsh parjanya sarva kama dughamahi shishichusma vrajan gavam payasodha swati muda. The cows were happy, they were giving abundant milk. All the forests and trees and the mountains, they were giving abundant natural resources. Even devatas were envious of the opulence of Yudhishthir, because Mukunda Manaso Dvija, he was giving everything for Krishna. Krishna's service, he was offering everything. But Satyajit, he did not give a simple jewel when asked by Krishna. All the causes of fortune became the causes of misfortune. So Jiva Goswami writes that Satyajit should have offered that jewel to Krishna on his own. He should have offered even without asking. But he didn't give even after Krishna asked for it. Satyajit didn't see that this will create a great disaster. Anything which is not offered in service of Krishna and enjoyed yourself, it gives only misfortune. This is what we have heard since so many years. And Srila Prabhupada had this firm conviction. And that's what he was telling all over the world, and that's how he created revolution. By transforming people's lives and making people understand that Krishna is the supreme proprietor of everything. So Satyajit, he didn't give that jewel, and one day, the brother of Satyajit, his name was Prasena. So he asked for that jewel to wear for some time. So he put that Shamantaka mani on his neck and he went to the forest to hunt. And in the forest, a lion killed Prasena and took the jewel himself. As the jewel was being taken by the lion, Jamwan, the great Jamwan from Ramayana, he saw this lion moving around with the jewel. So this Jamwan killed that lion. So lion had killed Prasena and his horse, and Jamwan killed that lion and took that jewel and gave it to his small child. He had a small son. So Jamwan, he thought, okay, my child will play with this, jewel and he'll be happy. Satrajit, he was waiting for his brother and the jewel. If he was waiting for days together, brother did not return, he became anxious and he started thinking. He started blaming Krishna. He said, oh, it seems that Lord Krishna has killed my brother because he wanted this Shamanta jewel and I didn't give him. This is how, if somebody is not having a, consciousness of service towards Krishna, anything happens in the world, people, they blame Krishna. Oh, maybe God has done this. Because they think, oh, God is so very greedy. And Satrajit, by his mentality, is telling what is the mentality of the people in this world. People think, oh, God needs something, that's why he's putting us in trouble. That's why he has put this. That's why he has done this. So that's what Satrajit was thinking. Maybe Lord Krishna killed my brother because, he wanted this jewel. And rumors started spreading everywhere. All the general public also started talking about it. We have heard what happened. Oh, somebody is telling that Krishna has killed Prasena. That is what rumor is. One time, Upendra Prabhu, he was Prabhupada's servant, and he was standing outside Prabhupada's room. And there was one devotee who came and he was talking to him. Prabhupada came out and he asked, what were you doing? So Upendra Prabhu said, I was talking to this devotee. What were you talking about? Prabhupada asked. So Upendra Prabhu said, Prabhupada, I was just talking about, some devotees and then some things which are going on. Prabhupada said, that is gossip. Gossip will destroy our movement. And this devotee was thinking, I was talking something very simple. I was not offending. I was not blaspheming anybody, not criticizing anybody. But still, Prabhupada was so very strong about it. Rumors can destroy our movement. The tendency to do prajalpa, tendency to do, just idle talks, destroys our time, destroys our consciousness. So therefore, we can see in this pastime, even Krishna was, blamed and blasphemed, and even rumors spread about Krishna. Everybody was talking about, and Lord came to know about it. When Lord heard, we can see from this pastime, even Lord has to do something to remove this stain of, all this blasphemy. Because he was thinking that, si deyuri me loka na kuryam karma chedanam sankrasya kartasyam upahanyam ma praja. If I am blamed, if my reputation is, stained, then everybody will follow me. So now he had to do something to remove that stain on his reputation. So then he took some of the citizens and he started tracing. He went to the forest, he started tracing the path of Prasena. And when he went in the forest, he found that Prasena was dead, his horse was dead, and he found that jewel was not there with Prasena. And then he continued searching, he found that a lion, lion was dead on the mountainside. So he was thinking, he was connecting the points, what must have happened. And then he found a cave nearby. So he told all his other citizens who had come along with him, you stay outside the cave, I'll enter inside and I'll find out. All the citizens, they stayed, and Krishna, he entered the cave. It was pitch dark. Alone he entered the cave. And he found that this jewel was there in the hand of a small boy. That boy was playing with the jewel. And as Krishna approached this child started crying and shouting. When Jamban heard, first of all, the nurse who was taking care of the child, she heard. She came running. When she saw this personality, she started shouting, and then Jamban heard the cries. He came, and then he saw that, oh, there is a personality in my cave. He's very beautiful and very effulgent. He first of all got mesmerized by the beauty of Krishna, and then he thought maybe he has come to steal this jewel. He started fighting with the Supreme Lord. He didn't know who was he. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that, why, all these pastime was arranged. How can a supreme devotee of Krishna not recognize Krishna? Jamban, he was a great devotee of Lord Ram. How he didn't recognize Krishna? Because Krishna also wants to have all the rasas. He is Rasaraj. So he also wants to have the satisfaction of fighting. So when he was fighting with demons like Chanur and Mustik and Jarasandh, they were very weak. So Krishna didn't become so much happy. He was not so much satisfied. They didn't give him a good fight. So Krishna wanted to have the satisfaction of fighting properly. Who will give that satisfaction? His devotee only. So he made Jamban, forget temporarily. He didn't recognize that he's my Supreme Lord. And that's why he fought. And Jamban, he was very, very powerful. Although, in the Ramayana only, is described that when they went to the shore of the ocean, Jamban said, when I was young and I saw Vamanadev appeared, and I jumped and I circumambulated the feet of Vamanadev, lotus feet, 3 times. But he said, I am weak, I am now old. And that happened in 23rd Yuga cycle. Now it is 28th Yuga cycle. So after so many years, but still Jamban was so very powerful. He started fighting, and they fought so very furiously, determined to defeat other person. And they started fighting with weapons and then with trees. Jamban started uprooting trees and throwing at Krishna, and in this way the fight went on for 28 days. 28 days they were fighting continuously. They were fighting without break. It was not that general war, okay, raat mein thoda aaram karenge. No. Everybody, all the, both of them, they were fighting with fists and with weapons and then with whatever was available. Jamban, he was very, very powerful. He had all the muscles bulging. One time, one devotee asked Prabhupada, who was Jamban? Was he a bear? Prabhupada said, because they had to paint. Was he a bear? Prabhupada said, no. He was not a bear. He was a human being like any other personality, but he was very, very powerful. Otherwise, how could he have daughter, Jamavati, very beautiful daughter? So he was not a bear. He was a human being, maybe from some other species, but he was a human being. He was having all the human features of human. That's how Prabhupada would give so many insights sometimes. He was not a bear. So Jamban, all his muscles, he was being beaten by Krishna's blows, fists, and he started becoming weaker. All his limbs started shaking, and he was perspiring, and he was becoming weaker. After being beaten by Krishna for a long time, he was astonished. He started thinking, who is he? Nobody can defeat me. He must be my Supreme Lord. And then he started offering his prayers because he understood only the Supreme Lord Ram, who can be stronger than me except Lord Ram. This personality must be Lord Ram, who has appeared again in this world in Dwapar Yuga. And he started offering prayers. Jane tvam sarva bhutanam prana oja sahobalam Vishnu Purana Purusham Prabha Vishnum Madhishwaram Jane Tvam. I know, I now understand. You are Sarva Bhutanam Pran. You are the life of all the living entities. You are the super soul. You are the original Supreme Lord Vishnu. You are Prabha Vishnu. You are the Supreme Controller, Adhishwara. And then he went on to glorify the Supreme Lord. Tvam hi visvasrajam srishta srishtanam apiyaccha sat kalah kalayatamisha para atma tathatmanam says Tvam hi visvasrajam. If you have created this entire universe, you are the creator, you are the maintainer, you are the destroyer of all this universe. In the form of time, you destroy everything. You are the subduer. Parah Atma Tathatmana, and you are the supreme soul of all the souls. In this way, he glorified the Supreme Lord and he said, it was you who impelled the ocean to give way. Now he's remembering that Supreme Lord Ram, because he understood that, oh, now Lord Ram has come in this form. It was you who built a bridge, because ocean god Samudradev, when he saw your anger, he parted. He gave way for you to build bridge. It was you who burnt down the city of Lanka. It was you who killed Ravana. In this way, he glorified the Supreme Lord. And then when the Lord was addressed by Jamvan in this way, he became very happy and satisfied. He smiled. He touched Jamvan's body with his hand, and Jamvan, he became completely relieved of all the fatigue and the pain which he underwent because of the fight. And Krishna, he spoke with compassion in a voice rumbling like a cloud. And whenever Krishna speaks, his voice is described as rumbling of the cloud. Megh gambhiraya vacha. He started speaking. He said, actually, it is for this jewel that we have come to this place. O Lord of the bears, O King of the bears, we want this jewel. Actually, and he tells his precarious situation that my citizens and everybody is, creating rumors and my reputation is at stake. Please give me this jewel so that I can, remove all the false accusation and disprove all these rumors. And Jamvan, when he heard, he became so very happy. He happily honored the Lord. And he gave that jewel, and actually he put that jewel in the neck of Krishna. And he offered his daughter also, Jambavati, beautiful daughter. So with this jewel on his neck, Krishna, he returned. On the other side, and all the citizens, they were waiting for 12 days. Actually, the fight went on for 28 days, but they were waiting for 12 days. After 12 days, they started thinking, I don't know, we don't know what happened. And they thought maybe Krishna was killed by some demon inside, and they returned without the Lord. Chakravarti Thakur writes that these people, these citizens who came, they were also of the party of Satyajit. That's why they had no such intense devotion for Krishna. And that's why they returned without Krishna. Otherwise, none of the pure devotees, will leave Krishna and return. So when these citizens, they returned without Krishna, all the residents of Dwaraka, Devaki, Rukmini, Vasudev, when they heard about this, they became so very sad and they started lamenting and crying, thinking that, we don't know what happened to Krishna. On all the pure devotees, all the residents who were devotees of Krishna, they started cursing Satyajit. Ye Satyajit ki wajah se hua hai, Satrajit created all this problem, and that's why Krishna has gone, and they went to Durga Devi and they started praying to Durga for the welfare of the Supreme Lord. Again, somebody may question, why these pure devotees, they're praying to Durga? This is all the pastime. Just like gopis, they worshipped Katyayani. For what? To get Krishna. So all these residents, they are worshipping Durga for what? For the welfare of Krishna. So they had no confusion. They only wanted Krishna's welfare. They wanted to remember Krishna, serve Krishna. And they were not going to these devatas for any material welfare. People, they generally go to devatas to get something from them. So when they worship this goddess Durga, she spoke. She actually gave the benediction that don't worry, Krishna will return. And as soon as they came out of the temple, Krishna appeared, and they all became so very happy and jubilant. They started celebrating. And when they saw Krishna wearing Shamantaka jewel in his neck with a wife, new wife. So he had Ratana of Shamantaka and he had Sri Ratana also. So it was double benefit. So all the citizens, they became so very happy and started celebrating. And Krishna, then he called Satrajit. And in the presence of everyone, he said, look, you can keep this jewel. I don't want this jewel. Satrajit, when he saw this, he became so very, he felt so bad. And he was feeling so very remorseful of his disrespectful behavior, how he criticized and spread rumors about Krishna. He felt very bad. He said, what to do now? What can I do to, just atone for this sin which I have done? He started pondering about it. He started thinking. And then he came to the conclusion, I cannot keep this jewel with me. So he went to the palace and he took his daughter. And he gave his beautiful daughter Satyabhama along with that jewel to Krishna. Because he thought, I shall give my daughter. My daughter is a jewel of all women. And I'll give my daughter to Krishna along with Shamantaka. And that's how somehow I will atone for my sin. So when he proposed this, he went and gave that jewel along with the daughter. Krishna said, I'll keep this, your daughter, I'll marry her, but I'll not keep this jewel. And he returned that jewel back to Satrajit. Sridhar Swami says that actually, Satrajit had no sons. He had only one daughter, Satyabhama. So Krishna was thinking, anyways, this jewel will come ultimately to me only. So that's why Krishna didn't take this jewel. That is the end of this chapter. In the 57th chapter, which is entitled Satrajit murdered and the jewel returned. So Shukdev Goswami continues the story. He says, he takes, this discussion to some another scene. Lord Govinda, he was fully aware of what was happening in Hastinapur. He came to know, he heard that, all the Pandavas and Kunti, they were burnt. And when he heard that, he knew, he was aware of everything. But still, he went to the Hastinapur just as an obligation. And he also pretended that, he's so very sorry, and he lamented. So Krishna and Balram, they went and they met all the residents, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Gandhari, and Dhritarashtra. And he also pretended to be like ordinary, human, and he also cried, alas, how painful is this that all Pandavas have died. He knew everything. Sridhar Swami said that actually, those who were involved in this all the assassination plan, they were not crying. They are not mentioned by Shukdev Goswami. Only those who were having feelings for Pandavas, Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, Gandhari, Vidura, they were crying. They didn't know. Vidura, of course, Vidura knew. He was also pretending to cry along with Krishna. Chakravarti Thakur writes that Vidura knew that because he was helping all the Pandavas. So Krishna and Vidura, they were the only two people who knew that the Pandavas are alive, but they were pretending to cry. All the others, they were actually lamenting because they had such intense affection for the Pandavas. So now, because Krishna was there in Hastinapur, so in Dwarka, Akrura and Kritavarma, they went to a person called Shatdhanava, and they started telling him, look, Satyajit had promised that he'll give his daughter Satyabhama to you in marriage. Because so many people were eager to marry Satyabhama. She was very, very beautiful and she had all the wonderful qualities, and actually Satyajit had promised. But now she was given to Krishna. So Akrura and Kritavarma, they went and they started telling all these things. So Sridhar Swami says that actually they were telling, you are much brave than Satyajit, you should kill him. Why Akrura and Kritavarma, they were behaving in this way? So many reasons, Chakravarti Thakur describes so many reasons. Why Kritavarma and Akrura, they behaved in this way, why they incited Shatdhanava to kill Satyajit. They are pure devotees of the Lord, they are exalted. Why a pure devotee of the Lord will behave in this way? Jiva Goswami writes, and Chakravarti Thakur also mentions that because Akrura, when he was taking Krishna from Vrindavan to Mathura, he didn't even give any solace, any assurance to the gopis. That's why gopis became so very angry. He offended them, although he was not intending to offend gopis, but still the gopis, they felt so very bad. That shows the power of aparad, Vaishnava aparad, how grave the Vaishnava aparad is. Even if done unintentionally, it will give some reaction. Akrura was not intending to offend gopis. He was just doing his service, but he was just neglectful. He didn't, give any assurance to the gopis that no, don't worry, Krishna will return. That's why when we are in a devotional, environment, we are with devotees, we have to be very, very careful not to offend devotees at any level. Of course, physical is it is grave. Verbal, mental, every level, we should be very, very careful not to offend devotees. What is an offense actually? One time, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was telling us, somebody asked this question. Maharaj said that, just like, sometimes we are walking by and if we touch somebody with our feet unintentionally, that is not such a grave offense. If somebody is seriously planning to do some harm to a devotee, that is a very, very serious offense. And if somebody is doing a mistake unintentionally and he's told that, okay, you should not do this, but still if he repeats the same mistake few times, then it becomes offense. If somebody is doing once, then it is not taken very seriously. But if he is corrected and still he is not understanding, then it becomes a serious thing. So therefore, this Vaishnava Aparad, as Rupa Goswami says, it is Matta Hati Aparad. A person, a devotee who has created a beautiful garden of devotional service with lots of flowers of realizations and fruits of, so many of the qualities. such wonderful flourishing garden, if he has created by years and years of bhakti, if one mad elephant is allowed inside, the entire forest, entire garden will be destroyed. So therefore, this is how, this Vaishnava Prad, it is so very serious. Even a great devotee like Akrura had to go through so much of the insult and, so many of the problems came just because he unintentionally offended the gopis. And why Kritavarma? It is said that although Kritavarma was also a very exalted devotee, but because he was there with Kamsa, that's why his intelligence also got polluted. That shows how association is so very dangerous. Even a great devotee like Kritavarma was, affected by that association. So Janasanga is very, very dangerous. And we know the story of Bhaumasur, which will come in the next chapter. He was a son of Supreme Lord himself, but because he associated with Banasur, he also got affected. He became a demon. Jiva Goswami, he gives another reason why they behaved in this way. He takes to another level. He says, actually, when Shatrajit, he criticized and offended Krishna, he put rumors, started spreading rumors. They became so very angry that they could not tolerate. How can this Satrajit spread rumors against Supreme Lord? They became extremely angry, and that's why they instigated Shatadhanva to kill him. That is another rasa of a devotee. How can somebody criticize Krishna? So these are the two reasons the acharyas they give. So Shatadhanva, when he heard all these words from Akrura and Kritavarma, he believed them and he started thinking. He was influenced by the advice. And one day, he entered the palace and he murdered Satrajit when he was sleeping. Shukdev Goswami says, actually, why Shatadhanva did this? Because Shatadhanva, his life was already shortened. And when he did this, it became even more short. So when Shatadhanva, after he killed Satrajit, he took this jewel and he didn't even see how sinful it was to kill Satrajit, and he mercilessly, like a butcher, he slaughtered Satrajit and he went. So Chakravarti Thakur, he writes that the jewel, it became the cause of death of Satrajit. So the lesson, very, very powerful lesson we have to learn. Krishna Chakravarti Thakur writes that object which was ordinarily auspicious, source of fortune and source of protection, it became the cause of misfortune and death because Satrajit offended Krishna. None of the things and the people of the world will give us protection if Krishna is not there. Mare Krishna rakhe Krishna mare ke, as Prahlad Maharaj also tells. Balasya neha sharanam pitarau narasimha nartasya chagadamudanvati majjato nau taptasya tat pratividhirya ihanja sheshtas tavad vibhopatanubhritam tadupekshitanam. Prahlad Maharaj is telling to Narsimdev, O Lord, if you neglect somebody, there is no hope for him. A child cannot be protected by the parents. Doctor cannot save the patient. A very nice boat cannot take a person across the ocean if you are not showing your mercy. So therefore, anything which is not connected with Krishna, which is not used in service of Krishna, and if somebody is, doing everything for himself, It is just a matter of time. Srila Prabhupada, once he was walking with his disciples and he saw there was a branch. It was dried up. And all the other tree was perfectly fine. Only one branch dried up. Prabhupada pointed to that. He said, why this branch is dried up? So everyone was thinking, what happened? What must be the cause? Then Prabhupada said, because it is disconnected from the tree. Our modern civilization is like this branch. It is dead because it is disconnected from Krishna. So if somebody is not connecting to Krishna and serving Krishna, it is just a matter of time. And on top of that, if somebody starts offending Krishna, then there is no hope. People think, my wife, my children, my property, bank balance, my relatives, they will save me. Deha patya klatradishu atmasainyashu asatsuapi desham pramatto nidhanam pashyannapi na pashyati. They think these are my soldiers. They'll protect me. Tesham pramatta nidhanam, they are mad. They don't understand. They are fallible soldiers. None of your soldiers will survive this material nature. Only Krishna can help. So Satyajit, because he offended Krishna, he was dead. Shatadhanva, he took the jewel after murdering Satyajit and went away. Satyabhama, when she came to know, she started crying and wailing, oh my father, you are killed. And then she fell unconscious. And this, so when Shatadhanva was gone, Satyabhama, she was so very attached to her father. She stored the body of her father, Satyajit, in oil. She went to Hastinapur from Dwarka to tell everything to Krishna. And when Krishna and Balram, they came to know, they started wailing and lamenting like ordinary human beings. Because, they are in a society and they have to behave like one of the persons of the society. So they started crying and lamenting, oh alas, this is a great tragedy for all of us. Now we have to do something. And they were actually crying tears. So they all immediately returned from Dwarka, returned from Hastinapur and reached Dwarka. Immediately Krishna, he readied himself to kill Shatadhanva. He told his chariot driver Daruka, oh Daruka, please prepare the chariot. And immediately he went after Shatadhanva. Shatadhanva, when he came to know that now Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is coming, he was struck with fear. He started thinking what to do now. So he approached, Kritavarma, bhai, tumne plan banaya tha, abhi kya ho gaya dekho. Please save me. Kritavarma said, I cannot dare to offend the Supreme Lord. He is Supreme Lord. Who can, fight with him? Even Kamsa and his followers were killed. They lost their lives. They lost their wealth. Hare Krishna defeated Jarasandha 17 times. Who can fight with Krishna? You go somewhere else. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that Kritavarma, he told, look, I instigated you to kill Satyajit, but I had no intentions of, having the hostility towards Supreme Lord. I cannot take any chance of fighting against the Supreme Lord. If you do not want to surrender to Supreme Lord, why are you putting me into trouble? I will surrender to Supreme Lord. So Shatadhanva, he became so very afraid, he went to Akrura because he was the second person. Akrura said, oh, do you know who are they? They are Supreme Lord. Who can oppose the Supreme Personality? Anybody who knows the strength of Krishna and Balram, any sane person will not even think of fighting. So I cannot do anything. He's a supreme creator, maintainer, and destroyer of the entire universe. Just by his, in a breath, entire universe is gone. Then he started recalling all the things which Krishna did. At the age of 7, Krishna lifted whole Govardhan mountain. He killed Kaliya. So like a mushroom, he lifted that Govardhan mountain. I cannot do anything. Sorry, you go. I offer my obeisances to the Supreme Lord, and he's a supreme soul. I cannot do anything. You go somewhere. So Shatadhanva, he realized he's not going to do anything. But still, Shatadhanva, he was so attached to the jewel, he gave that jewel in the care of Akrura. Because he was thinking, okay, after I go and save myself, later I'll come back and take the jewel. That is the mentality of a demon. Ishwaroham, aham bhogi, siddhoham, balvan sukhi. The desire to enjoy, desire to lord over never goes. However, person suffers in this world, but if he has a demoniac mentality, he will never come to understand this. Namam dushkritino mudha prapadyante naradhama maya aparitagyana asuram bhavamashrita. A demoniac person can never surrender to Krishna. He always thinks there is some hope. Still I can enjoy. That is how Maya is so very cunning. Maya Devi is so very cunning. She will never make one hopelessly frustrated. She will keep one hopefully frustrated. मार पड़ रही है सब जगह से, but still no. हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन. That is the hope Maya Devi creates, especially those who are demonic. So Satrajit, he placed the jewel in the care of Akrura, and then he ran away on a horse who could run for 100 yojanas. And he kept running. But then Krishna and Balram, when they saw Shatadhanva is running, they mounted their chariot. A chariot had a flag of Garuda. Actually, Chakravarti Thakur says, on the chariot of Krishna, Garuda personally flew. But to the people, it seemed that, there is a flag there. Actually, Garuda was flying on the chariot of Krishna always. So Krishna and Balram, they both, boarded one chariot and they started chasing. And Shatadhanva, he ran for miles together. Ultimately, when this Shatadhanva reached Mithila, the horses of Shatadhanva, they became tired and they could not run anymore. Shatadhanva abandoned that horse and started running on feet. So Krishna also started chasing him. Immediately he took out his Sudarshan and he cut off the head of Shatadhanva. Then after that, he started searching the cloths of Shatadhanva. Where is the jewel? They didn't find the jewel. Krishna didn't find. So Krishna said, we have killed this person uselessly. The jewel is not with him. What to do now? Balram said, look, you must have placed this jewel under care of somebody. You return to Dwaraka and you find out. He says, now I have come here, I want to visit the king of Videha. So he went to Mithila, and Balramji stayed in Mithila for many, many years. He was having a very loving relationship with the king of Mithila. So king of Mithila, he came, welcomed Balramji, he gave all the respects and welcome, and Balramji was staying for years. In that place, Duryodhan also came and learned mace fighting from Balram. So Krishna, he arrived back in Dwaraka and he was thinking what happened and, where is the jewel? He told everything. How Shatadhanva was killed and he didn't find the jewel. He was wondering what happened. Then they all performed the funeral of Satrajit because he was still lying there in the, his body was there in the oil vessel. Then, when on the other side, when Akrura and Kritvarma, they heard that Shatadhanva is dead, they became fearful. And both of them, they ran out of Dwarka. And they went somewhere. So Akrura, his mother was from Varanasi. So Akrura, he went to Varanasi, Banaras, and he stayed there. When Akrura was gone from Dwarka, so many ill omens started manifesting in Dwarka. This is another pastime of Krishna. When Krishna is there, how can there be any inauspiciousness? So many problems came. Adhi Bhautika, Adhi Atmika, Adhi Devika, all problems started coming in Dwarka. And the citizens were telling, because Akrura has gone from this kingdom, that's why all these calamities are coming, because Akrura, one time his father, when so they said that when there were some troubles in this kingdom of some king, in the kingdom of Kashi, then the king of Kashi requested mother of Akrura, that is that time the daughter of this Banaras, king of Banaras, and she was married to this person, and then to the king of Kashi, and then Akrura was born. So mother of Akrura, she was also very, very chaste and powerful lady. When she was married, then all the calamities were gone. So they were thinking maybe, because Akrura is born from that lady, he also has all these powers. So therefore we have to bring Akrura back. As soon as Akrura will come back, all these inauspicious signs and all these things will be gone. So it is all the pastime of Krishna. Krishna is supreme auspicious. If Krishna is there, how can something bad happen? It was just a pastime so that, Krishna, he wanted to teach a lesson through all these pastimes. So Akrura, when he was gone, he was staying in Banaras. He was doing sacrifices every day on the altar of gold, because he was having that Shamantaka. And he was serving all the Brahmanas very nicely, and everybody knew that, oh, this Akrura is Danpati. He was famous. Everybody knew, oh, this jewel must be with him only. So Krishna, he sent his people and he called for Akrura. So Akrura, he had to come back. He was fearful. Krishna told, when he came, Akrura came back, he said, why are you fearful of me? I know you have no bad intentions. You are my devotee. And, I know you have not killed Satyajit. So why are you fearful? You are not enemy of Satyajit, and you have not stolen the jewel. And I know I am Paramatma. Do you know? You didn't know that? You know everything. Why are you fearful? Do I not know your mind? So in this way, he pacified Akrura. And he said, why are you afraid? I know everything. So when Akrura heard all these things, he took out the jewel and gave to Krishna. So Krishna, then he showed that jewel to Balram, because he had also to, he wanted to show everybody that, okay, I am not responsible. I have nothing to do with all these things. So when Akrura, he gave that jewel back to Krishna. So Krishna said, actually, I don't need this jewel. And he gave back that jewel to Akrura only. He said, I don't need all this jewel, because all these things happened because of this jewel. I don't want to keep it. He gave that jewel back to Akrura. So therefore, this whole story tells that even Lord, when he descends in this world, there is a tendency that the people will even criticize the Supreme Lord. Nobody in this world is immune from criticism, whoever he may be. Because in this world, everybody is infected with fault-finding propensity. So therefore, if we are criticized, it is nothing new in this world. We should not become so very sad and affected by criticism. Many times when devotees are criticized, they feel so very bad. Oh, by some other devotee. Okay, this person is a devotee, he is speaking this way, such a wrong way. And they ultimately leave devotional service only. So therefore you have to understand this is a Kali Yuga, Kalera Dosha Nidhi Rajan. The Kali Yuga is the ocean of faults. So therefore we should never ever think that will not be criticized, will not be blamed. The whole Bhagavatam is teaching how to respond to a particular situation properly. Problems will come, but the responses will change. That is the whole purpose of all these pastimes that are described in Bhagavatam. So Shukdev Goswami ends this chapter by giving the Falastuti. He says this narration, which is rich with the description of so many things, describing the prowess of Krishna and how he defeated Jambavan and how he had to do so many things. If somebody hears this narration, it removes all the sinful reactions and it bestows all auspiciousness. Anyone who recites, hears, and remembers this pastime, it will drive away his own infamy and the sins, and he will attain complete peace. So that is the end of this chapter. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Anybody has any questions? Okay. So the residents of Dwarka were devotees. Yeah, they were devotees, but many of them were not pure devotees. Many of them were not favorable to Krishna in a very right way. Because, Krishna came at the end of Kali Yuga, at the end of Dwapar Yuga. And, when these pastimes happen, it is the intention of Krishna to perform these pastimes. That's why some people start thinking in some way. So you can see it from a mundane level and you can see it from a spiritual level that Krishna wants to perform these pastimes to teach a lesson. And, we have to understand the power of this material world, that anybody, even a great devotee staying in Dwarka with Krishna, can get affected by the material energy and material consciousness. So that's why all these things are described here. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.